So today I'm going to talk about why I have so many plants. Now, I have two different kinds of plants. I have just general decorative plants, and then I have actual edible plants. With the decorative plants, they're mostly there, obviously, for decoration, but they have a purpose. They help take the carbon dioxide out of the air, they help balance the humidity, they help take mold spores out of the air, because I have had problems with mold in this room in the past because of the humidity, but as far as I can tell, it's mostly clean. I will have to clean some of the areas though, but for the most part, my plants are doing the job when they're clearing out the air. The thing is, with bedrooms, they usually have quite a high level of carbon dioxide in them, and because I only live in one room, this is basically where I am 90% of my day when I'm not including work, having a lot of ways to refresh the air through opening a window to having lots of plants just makes sense. I have 6 decorative plants total. One of them I may have to get rid of because he's slowly falling apart. The thing is with him, or them, I'm not really sure of gender, I found them on the street after Christmas because someone didn't want it anymore. And I've been trying to look after it, but it seems to be dying. I don't know if I'm overwatering it or underwatering it, I don't know. Either way, it is sprouting new shoots, but it also is kind of shedding a lot of its needles, and that concerns me. Anyways, the thing is with plants is they are great for boosting mood and, as I said, keeping the air clean, and generally can just brighten up a place and make a place feel like a home instead of just a room. I've always been very passionate about nature, and since I used to live in a town that basically had an entire forest and mountain range and beach and dunes and nature reserve, yeah, I was around nature for the longest time, for 20 years of my life. So nature has always been a intense thing that's been very prominent in my life, and I'm very passionate about it. Now that I live in a city, in a country, in the part of the country that's basically mostly fields if I want to go for nature. There are some forests, but I have to travel to the next town over to really enjoy the forests. But for the most part, it's mostly just fields and more fields, and that's mostly tame nature, and I'm not used to that. I'm used to big forests and mountain ranges and much more wild nature. So being able to bring in plants into my home makes me feel better mood-wise and makes me feel far more at home, if that makes sense. I've always had plants in my room, whether it be like green sage or just some sort of decorative plant. It's just what I do. Having nature indoors is as important as having nature outdoors to me. Now, I have started to branch into more than just decorative plants. I was trying a little experiment with some leeks that I bought. The thing is with leeks, if you cut off the bottom bit and leave like an inch or an inch and a half of the root bulb, you can regrow it, and I'm currently growing 2, and the one is growing super healthily, the other one not so much, but that's just because it had a bit of a rough start. And I'm currently growing 2 garlic bulbs, so in total I have 4 edible plants at the moment I'm growing and trying to grow, and they seem to be doing alright. The thing is, I don't have a garden to grow these things. I probably could put it in the communal garden we have downstairs with all my housemates, but I just haven't got around to asking if I could put a few soil bags down. Especially with my generation, a lot of us don't even know where our food comes from, and as a vegetarian I don't have to worry about meat, but vegetables is something I am very passionate about. It just sounds weird, but it's the truth. Like, a good 90% of my diet comes from vegetables of some sort, whether it be beans or root vegetables or whatever. It's a vegetable, and so I have to, in my opinion, I have to understand how my vegetables grow and how they work, and so that I can truly appreciate them when I eat them. Like, I know a few of the veggies that I'm growing at the moment I won't be able to eat for weeks, maybe even months, until they're fully grown. But it allows me to appreciate how long it takes to grow each vegetable, and how much the human race takes for granted how much effort it is to grow even just a small handful of vegetables. Like, it's ridiculous. You have to have a lot of patience. I'm always an advocate for growing your own greens and stuff like that, because firstly it's cheaper than buying them from the grocery store because you're growing them yourself. Like, literally I'm getting 2 free leeks from 2 leeks I bought at the store, so I'm doubling my amount of food for the same price as it would be at the store for just half of that. Yeah, sure, I have to wait quite a while for it, but it's a nice decorative plant until I eat it, so can I complain? Not really. By going through this process and learning how to grow vegetables, once I do actually get my own garden plot, I'll know what to do. I'll know how to grow veg very easily, so then eventually my plan is to be almost self-sustaining and grow my veg on a vegetable plot, and hopefully be able to supply that 90% of my diet through the veg I grow. My friend in Amersfoort has a plot and she pays like €55 a year for it. And that, considering how much I pay per week for vegetables now, that's cheap. If I could find a plot at that price, even half the size of her plot, I could sustain myself the entire year. And that would be awesome. I know I've just gone into a tangent about edible plants that you eat, but the reason why I have so many plants is to keep my mood up and just generally enjoy nature through the comfort of my own home. I believe that anyone and everyone could benefit from plants, even if it's just like a succulent or a cactus of some sort, where you don't have to do much maintenance to it. It's kind of cute having one at the window. I have an aloe vera and a succulent, and I don't really pay much heed to them because they're doing pretty fine on their own. I know some people may say, but I don't have the time to look after them. It's like, well, all you have to do is water them every 3 days. It'd be longer. Like, I'm constantly busy, yet I still manage to find the time to look after them. Like, it's much easier than actually looking after some pets like dogs or cats, because they're actually quite low maintenance. You just have to understand the signs of what it looks like when you overwater them, what it looks like when you underwater them, and that's basically it. Once you figure those out, you can pretty much grow anything. Though there's obviously things like the HP of the soil and stuff like that, and that's a little more complicated, but what I'm currently doing, you don't have to worry about that. If I could have more plants, I definitely would. I would love to have this place looking like almost like a forest. Like, there's a whole like shelf along here above this wall. It's like a weird nook that I put like disused boxes and stuff, and I want to kind of transform that and put like maybe a bunch of ivy up there so it all droops down. It would look super cool. Like, I have one ivy up there at the moment, and it looks nice. It's quite cute, but I think it would look really cool if I just had a bunch of them so that they all kind of droop down. I'll have to see, because at the moment, and I know I say this 100 times, but at the moment my finances aren't great because I haven't been getting my money from work yet. Should be arriving this week or next week, I'm not sure. So we'll have to see. This whole process of getting all these plants has been a big learning experience, because I at first really didn't have much knowledge on most of the plants that I got, because firstly I didn't really have any. I was working with like lemongrass and sage at one point, and both of those are usually really easy to grow. Sage is a little bit more, I'd just say, temperamental, but lemongrass you can pretty much do anything with and it'll still grow. So I'm working with far more tedious plants and just expanding my knowledge with these plants and understanding that they have as many needs as human beings, but luckily they're a little bit more, a little bit easier to look after. So I said, you know, it's nice to take a time every so often just to stop worrying about everything and just water some plants. It's very refreshing. But yeah, that's why I have so many plants, and I hope to have many, many more in the future. If you find this enjoyable, please, you know, leave a like, comment, do what you need to do. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.